سلام وجنات زي تريبة زلهم أبي لعله بتجري زفፀم زلنا عايزر مطفأ ጨፍጫፍ ንምኹናን أو ከተማ ملبورن بيت فيكتوريا هاجر أستراليا ولدت تجري نتزخير زل ጨፍጫፍ ንምኹናን تسلام سلفي تجري زلوا سلام سلفي زبنا نزبط حمد الله مسكرة المجلاتي أبي سلم لاستيخ تقليلهم وجنات أبو صوحي دكي سمرلو نتزخير زلوا ጨፍጫፍ زجلس صحفاتون الله ندازور كفريقكم بمخنيات بمسرتي أبو علم درجة زلوا تجراوي نعلت شمونت جانواري اثنين لما عنتي كمون نعلت إرتران كلتن بعلم لخا دمتنا نسمع دمتنا استعنو نعل كل توارحي زي ماي زي إخلي زي مبرحتي زي بانكي كل ما دياوي لا تكشفه أو رؤسي إخاء قتلت لا تفتصم زل حزنا علم تمام مثل زهوته الذي علم دمتنا بزولنا سلام سلفة جير زلمه أب علم زلها تجربة كلها كم دي أبدي ترى لو من جهة تجمير زلوا ملبورن أستراليا مالتي كلهم دمسهم ندمسي إذا سمع الله أنه الزنا دمسخ تخونه عند تلاوه في ناي سلام سلف مسرح تجمير الله حجي رب زلنا يو دمسنا خان نسمع لهم دبع بسراويت إثيوبيان ناي إرتران فاشيست العلف الزنا زجوروا زلوا ጨፍጫፍ نعلم نفلت يقبع دمسكم كونهم دمس السعنو زمنا لذي كل إيزي تجر بديها تجراي كم تعود ترت يولن كاب عود جن زجود زلوا في التعاون في ماجلتات الديسات دمسكم كونهم يقبع Tegas. Ada atkan ya tegas.
We have no idea whether our parents are alive, their whereabouts, nothing. The three of them left to travel to Ethiopia with the Tigray region. But all of the region has been cut off. The root of conflict broke out between the national government and the Tigray Liberation Front in November. Today, around 1 million Tigray Australians gathered in protest to try and gain awareness and answers about their families. is one of at least 50 extremists who are not being accounted for in the region. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed claims to have restored electricity on some lines last week, but many are still lost in the dark.
The federal government seeks all control of Tigray's data and telecom infrastructures, effectively disabling Ethio telecoms in Tigray.
This has prohibited access to internet, telephone and basic utility services. In addition to this, people are unable to access banks and financial due to independent border control.
On the 12th of November, fighter jets have bombed the Tigray hydroelectric plant, the main source of power to millions of Tigrayans.
Why is this happening? Military action against Tigray began shortly after Abiy Ahmed unconstitutionally extended his term in office. This term expired on the 5th of October 2020. There is no scheduled date for an election moving forward. After seeing the government attempt to block the election, Tigray continued with the state elections in a COVID-safe manner. Abiy Ahmed deemed this to be illegal, and in response to this, the federal government has cut funding to the Tigray region.
The result of this is that an already fragile region that is currently adjusting to the effects of COVID-19, in addition to the worst latest outbreak in decades, is now doing so without the financial support from the federal government.
What does this mean moving forward? Abiy Ahmed has rejected peace talks and refuses to recognise the democratically elected regional government in Tigray.
He has told the civilians of Tigray to remain indoors, as the government will continue with airstrikes over the entire region indefinitely, until all CPLF leaders are under his control.
Abiy Ahmed has implemented open forces to wage war against Tigrayan citizens. reports the Eritrean president is conscripting soldiers and mobilizing Eritrean troops at the border.
This means that an invasion from Tigray's northern neighbors will have severe impacts on the people of Eritrea and the already fragile Horn of Africa. With the UN reporting that 11,000 people have since fled to Sudan, and 50% of them being children. Tigray is already tightly arranged by nations and becoming a serious geopolitical crisis in the East African region and beyond. Our war will only continue to increase instability on a country that faced unrest, mass killings, and excessive force on protesters.
Abiy Ahmed.
One that innocent civilians need to pay. What can you do? Do you believe in suppression in the whole of Ethiopia? We encourage you to utilize your voice and urge the Ethiopian government for an immediate cessation of hostilities. Allow for humanitarian assistance to be delivered to those in need and conduct an all-inclusive negotiation between political parties. We encourage you to request that the Ethiopian government recognizes the democratically elected government of the state of Tigray and abide by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia as the first step towards resolving this conflict.
I encourage you to utilize your platform and say no to the war on Tigray.
To utilize your platform and say no to the war on Tigray.
Hold Abiy Ahmed accountable for his actions. Say no to the war on Tigray.
I stand with Tigray. Say no to war.
It's been more than 44 days since Gabriel saw her parents and her sister Christina.
At the moment, we have no idea whether our parents and sister are alive, their whereabouts, nothing.
The three of them left to travel to Ethiopia's Tigray region earlier this year and were unable to return due to COVID-19. But all methods of communication have been cut off since weeks of conflict broke out between the national government and the Tigray Liberation Front in November. Today, around 100 Tigray Australians gathered in protest to try and gain awareness and answers about their families. Christina is one of at least 50 Australians who have not been accounted for in the region. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed claimed to have restored electricity on phone lines last week, but many are still left in the dark.
Last Friday, I celebrated my mother's 28th birthday with my three other siblings and my mom. We lit a candle and sang happy birthday. Not knowing whether he's getting enough food, not knowing whether he's alive.
The United Nations have described it as a full-scale humanitarian crisis. They say there are an estimated 50,000 Ethiopian refugees, nearly half of them children, who have crossed to neighboring Sudan. Frustrations remain high as Tigray is still largely sealed from the outside world, and humanitarian aid is struggling to flow through. This week, the European Union announced they will delay nearly 90 million euros of aid to Ethiopia until the national government allows access to the region. And despite the government's claims of victory, the conflict in Tigray shows no signs of abating.
There's Australians among this innocent civilians, so I don't know what the world is waiting for, and I don't know what Australia is waiting for. All of these other countries have managed to somehow evacuate their citizens. Why haven't we been able to evacuate our 15? These people, they're our family members. We need them to come back.
We interviewed several people from the town who alleged that shells launched from Eritrea had hit residential areas and the hospital. The Ethiopian army and regional Amhara forces and militia then reportedly took control of Humera, allegedly killing civilians and looting the hospital, banks, businesses, supermarkets and private houses. Artillery strikes against the town of Adigrat in early November reportedly forced many families to flee to the mountains. They were then trapped by heavy fighting between the 20th and 24th of November, and many people were reported to have been killed.
There's pressure on the Australian government to do more to help dozens of Australians stuck in Ethiopia's embattled Tigray region. It's estimated that more than 50 Australians remain in the conflict zone amid a violent military offensive that has left hundreds dead and tens of thousands displaced.
On November 4th, Prime Minister of Ethiopia Abiy Ahmed Ali declared military action against the state of Tigray as a response to an alleged military base attack conducted by the ruling party, TPLF.
Abiy announced a 6-month state of emergency in Tigray, where everyone is instructed to remain in their homes. About a week prior, the federal government cut the supply of all fuel pipes to Tigray.
2 days prior to Abiy's declaration of war, the federal government seized all control of Tigray's data and telephony infrastructures, effectively
unable to access banks and humanitarian aid due to intense border control.
On the 12th of November, fighter jets have bombed the Tigray hydroelectric dam, the main source of power to millions of Tigrayans.
Why is this happening? Military action against Tigray began shortly after Abiy Ahmed unconstitutionally extended his term in office. This term expired on the 5th of October 2020. There is no scheduled date for an election moving forward.
Despite assuming the government intends to block the election, Tigray continued with the state elections in a COVID-safe manner. Abiy Ahmed deemed this to be illegal. In response to this,
በኮቪድ ምክንያት ናይ ሰብ ውስንነት ዘለዎ ርሕቀት ብምሕላው ኣብ ከተማ ሜልበርን ستيت فيكتوريا أستراليا زركب محاورة تجراي رخاء تحلي التي حفظ غنا بعله زنا زفصم زلون ጨፍጫፍ ንምኹናን ብንግህኡ ሰላም ሰልፊ ጀሚሩ ኣሎ ብመሰረት 8 ጃንዋሪ 2021 ንህዝብና ድምፂ ክንኮነ ዓለም ለኸ ተጋሩ ናይ ሰላም ሰልፊ ፃውዒት ከም ተገብረ ይፍለጥ ነዚ መሰረት ምግባር ሎሚ ንግሆ ተጀሚሩ ኣሎ እዚ ኣብ መላእ ዓለም ትርከቡ ተጋሩ ንድምፂ ዝየብሎም ኣካል ሕብረተሰብና ጨፍጫፍ ድምፂ ፋሽስታውያን ናብ ፍትሒ ናይ ኢዶም ክረኽቡ ነዚ ኩሉ እዩ ብቕልፅምና ስዒርና ክንወፅእ እኳ ንተኣማመን ትኾንና ክንገብሮ ዝግባአና ብዘይ ምግባር ግፍዓውያን ናይ ኢዶም ንኽረኽቡ ክንሰርሕ ይግባእ ናቱ መቐጠልታ እዩ ሎሚ ኣብ ከተማ መልበርን ኣውስትራልያ እዚ ትሪእዎ ኣብ ዝተፈላለየ ከባቢታት ኢትዮጵያ ኢትዮጵያን ናይ ኤርትራን ብጅምላ እንዳጨፍጨፉ ንውር ናይ ቀብሪ ስነ ስርዓት ዘይረኸቡ ፍቆድኡ ዝተደብሮ ሕብረተሰብና ንዓኣቶም ንምዝካር ከምቲ ንስቶም ዝበፅሖም ብፀሊም ፌስታል ተጠቕሊሉ እዩ ነባሪ ኣብዚ ሎሚ ድምፂ ዝኸውን ዘሎ ከም ትሪእዎ ዘለኹም ብዝሕዝን መልክዑ ኣብ ዓድና ዝፍፀም ዘሎ ኩነታት ስእላዊ ሰላም ሰልፊ እዮም ዝገብሩ ዘለዉ ኮቪድ ኣዝዩ ሓያል ናይ ስትሪት ናይ ሽምኡ እገዳ ኣሎ ብበዝሒ ሰብ ከይትእከብ ግን ነቲ ሕጊ ኣኽቢርና በብሚእቲ ኣብ ዝተፈላለየ ጉጅለ ኮይና ድምፅና ነስማዓሎም ኣለና ኣብ መላእ ዓለም ዘለኹም ተጋሩ እውን እዚ ክትገብሩ ነተባብዕ ኣብ ዝቕፅል 22 ጃንዋሪ እውን ተመሳሳሊ ክህሉ እዩ ሎሚ ጋና ዘይወግሐ ኣብ ካሊእ ዓለም ትርከቡ ተጋሩ ፅባሕ ይኹን ዘለና ዓኹም ዕለት 8 እሞ ንስኻትኩም እውን ኣብዚ ዘለኹሞ ዓለም ድምፂ ክትኾኑ ንድምፂ ዝተኣነ ህዝብና ክንላዎ ትግራይ ትዕወት ኣድሓር ሓርቲ ኣብ መሬት ትግራይ ክቕበሩ እዮም